Hello, this is Greg Allison with Green Gregs. How you doing, Swivelheads? There is news and reports, official reports of no less than 3 of these Chinese spy balloons here in the Americas. I kid you not, 3. There's the one we've been tracking that came in over Montana, and now, according to some sources, may actually be over East Tennessee, Southeast Tennessee, and there was the one over Canada. That was actually reported to us by the Canadian Ministry of Defense. So we can take that report seriously. And the U.S. Department of Defense reported another one over Latin America. Well, Latin America is huge, just like, from Mexico to all the way to Antarctica almost. Well, it appears that one went across Costa Rica of all places. So, I don't know what the deal with that is. Maybe it's one to monitor something out in the Caribbean or the Gulf of Mexico if it veers north a little bit. There's something else down there that it wants to monitor, but they already the Chinese have pretty good access to Venezuela, so they already have a lot of assets in that area. So don't know what that's all about. Maybe that's just to dissuade us to buy into their notion that it's just a weather balloon. Okay, a lot of people believe that it's just a weather balloon. Well, weather balloon with something on the order of 3 kW of electrical power on board, maybe up to 5. Yeah, it seems. Look, I used to fly radio sondes and stuff like that. And, they got very, very, very little power. You don't take a lot of power to get a lot of data with some instrumentation. So that's interesting. That is really interesting, whatever this thing is up to. It is more than just a regular everyday weather balloon by a long shot. I've showed you pictures of the stuff Raven launches, the kind of solar panels that they would have on those ginormous balloons. Nothing like the solar array on this thing. I'll show y'all again in a little bit, I do believe. I am going to update the thing here, see who's in the chat room, so people we got going here. So we're going to talk a little bit more about this. I might even go into Lee's channel in a moment. And hang on, guys. So I'm find a PowerPoint file. I don't know if I got it open now. Yeah, I think I got a picture of that balloon in here. If I dial it up to the right place, maybe I do, maybe I don't. I got somewhere else. I put it in another presentation. Oh well, so much for that. Maybe I put it over here then. That one. Yeah, that's where it is. I can show you that in a little bit. All right, guys. So yeah, maybe I should just go ahead and enlarge that some. Don't know if this presentation. Now this presentation is not set up to show in full presentation mode, so I'm not going to do it that way. Just give you a real brief picture of the thumbnail photograph that I've used for this thing here. And give me a second. I'm going to I'm wasting too much time here. Trying to find all my buttons to hit here. All right, now I'm going to hit the share button. Sorry about that, guys. That's a no-no when you start a video out. Here we are. Just give you a notion. Yeah, I wrote, this is my thumbnail photograph that I just used the last video. So pardon the text, I could delete that just for, it's all put together, excuse me. I'm not going to waste time doing it. But guys, you can see this thing's got massive solar arrays across the bottom of it. They say this is 3 buses wide. It's a huge balloon. This is a real high fidelity photograph that was taken of it. Stop the share, bing, bing, bing. All right, guys. Now, a lot of people don't, we're not hearing about the Canadian balloon. Oh, we got 137 of them. Very good. Hey, Granny, how you doing? Arnold, how you doing? Bobby B, Shazbot 19, Kim, Old Town, hi. So yeah, we're not hearing a lot about the Canadian balloon. We heard a little bit more, and suddenly the Defense Department reported it was a second balloon, the one that was in Latin America, Costa Rica, but we did not hear much about the Canadian balloon. So, kind of makes you wonder, but it did get a report from the Canadian Ministry of Defense. So it's a legitimate report of that balloon. And I'm going to have to share it with y'all with that now. Let's say ding, 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 ding. So you'll know that this really was real. Now, this website don't look too real to me. Ads. I hate these ad things. Just the news. Canada says it's tracking a second surveillance balloon in its airspace. How many second balloons do we have? One of Costa Rica, one here, one there. All right. Uh-oh. dadgummit, I'm trying to get rid of something and pop it in. I hate that. So got an ad that's popped up behind my little video. I wanted to move it and I can't get it out of my way without popping it. Oh, there I go again. I hate those ads. Anyway, it's in my way. Let me move this. Maybe I can get rid of it. No, where's the X at? Jeez. There it is. Gosh, I hate these ads. Kill me. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. So Thursday, the Canadian Ministry said, Canadian Defense Ministry, that they had a high altitude balloon that was detected, and its movements are being actively tracked by NORAD. It says the Canadians are safe. Well, as far as they know, some kind of stuff our side said. You don't know if it was an MP type thing, you wouldn't know that. Now, that aside, you probably are safe. But getting your data stolen, but then again, we're used to getting our data stolen. Big high tech steals our data all the time, don't it? But high tech may not be as malicious as the CCP. Holy smoke, guys, but I don't trust them. Do you? Here's the Pentagon claiming a second spy satellite found, a spy balloon. This one is, here it says another one. This one positively identified flight near the United States. Now, Costa Rica is near the United States. You know, all here is near the United States, but transit in Latin America. Yeah, what's that supposed to mean? So there you go, guys. I kid you not. And that's just a photograph of the one they took. This kind of replicated a few times over here. Ding, 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 ding. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't even think that's the same one that's over us right now. Now, look, this is where the fill port for the balloon would be, and they got this open really wide here. So they got some equipment up in there where the fill port would be. So that tells me they've got probably an ability to get to let some of the gas out there. They got some valves in there. Ballast would have to be dropped from down here. But look, this is like a cross truss structure on this photograph. That is quite a truss structure. Quite a bit of things hang on the side too here. Maybe they got some fans out there or electrostatic ion wind moving type devices. Something that was called a Biffle-Brown device or anti-gravity lifter, according to some people. That's really ion wind movement in the atmosphere. Anyway, yeah, I've seen that. Pentagon confirms second, again, same thing. Here, this is the article says second Chinese surveillance balloon. Now, I don't know if the second comes from the writer of the article or if it comes from the, or does it come from the Pentagon? I said, how many seconds are we getting? Sounds like a meeting. I'll second that motion. No, I'll second that motion. No, I'm going to second that motion. Okay, we got 3 seconds. All right, very good. All right, so, and this is an article for Washington Examiner. I do not have a subscription to it, but you can get the gist of what they're saying from the headlines. Sometimes the headlines are enough, especially when you got me to brief you in detail on this topic, because this is something I've talked to y'all about all along. Dry run. Balloons called a top delivery platform for a nuclear EMP attack. Well, there you go. By the Paul Bedard, the Washington Secrets columnist. Well, that's a heck of a title to have. Washington Secrets columnist. Who knows? Well, a lot of people have been talking about this thing in Montana. You know, there's some video that went out on Twitter and got sent out some various articles, showed a contrail above some guy's chimney. That isn't not, the contrail is not indicative of anything, but there was a flash in it. What was a flash? Don't know, but Montana governor and everybody up there says no explosions occurred in or around Billings, Montana on Friday night. So I know Lee Wheelbarger discounts that and says nothing to it. All right, Jason says, I saw a video about the flashes in Montana sky. Couldn't really make anything out complete. Yeah, it could have been lightning. I don't know what it was. There was a flash, but I don't know what the flash was. So, you know, got to be careful connecting dots. You know, they may or may not connect. So who knows? It's speculation. There was something that flashed, whatever it was. I don't know. But everybody's in denial that there was anything there. And why would they deny it, really? I mean, some things, you know, might make sense from deny. Why would they deny that? I don't know. So this is an article about the difficulty of shooting down these balloons. This is something I talked about, and this was basically just talking about the height on it, because those balloons go so high, it's very difficult to shoot them down. You know, they're not metallic, so it makes them a tough target anyway. I mean, you may have metal on that truss, maybe or maybe not. It could be composite truss to minimize radar profile, because these things snuck in on us. All right, here's Sputnik. This is a Russian website, and here on the front page of Sputnik, we're talking about our Pentagon claiming a second Chinese balloon over Latin America. Just regurgitating our stuff in their Americas section. So here. This is a Russian website here. So calling a special operation, special military operation. Wow. Anyway, be curious to see what. Well, hey, at least it's got less junk in it than the other articles I pulled up, ads and such. Chinese will continue communicating with the U.S. side and properly handle this unexpected situation caused by forces majeure, or whatever, I guess, forces of nature. I don't know. Anywho, so much for that. And just to diverge a little bit. So Putin suddenly declares that Russia's main task is to ensure preservation of Russia. He kind of sort of did that when he had that celebration about the empire a few months ago. And I was telling you guys then, that's what it was really all about. You know, if you, let me stop sharing. Moscow is on a flat plane. I mean, there's nothing to stop anybody from just rolling in there. If they can get close to it, they can roll in there. And Russia has always known that. So Russia's always sought to push the push out as far as they can away from Moscow, their borders, so no one would invade it. And their strategy has been to plug certain strategic gaps so they wouldn't have to maintain a long line of defenses. So, you know, in Europe, they got the Carpathian Mountains. So they wanted to basically use the Polish gap between the northern part of the Carpathian Mountains and the Baltic Sea. So basically want to put just a few hundred miles there, and south of the Carpathian Mountains, around Moldova. They're just a few miles down there. That's why they want Moldova. So, but unfortunately, taking Poland, would be hitting a NATO country. I think Moldova's a NATO nation also, so they're running some risk there. No, Moldova's not the next nation of risk. So for reference, military aircraft typically do not operate above 15 kilometer. Yeah, 30 kilometers is way up there. Yeah, it's way out of range. Way out of range for them. Hey, Jesse, how you doing? So GM of the Pulse, I'm sharing. Thank you. Pardon me. Got a cough tonight. Don't know why. All right, so that was pretty much the gist of what I wanted to show y'all tonight about this other balloons. We can show you some other stuff here real quick. 216 rim, that's good. Thank y'all. Hexfuse has been a huge train derailment east of Palestine, Ohio. Wow. Hope it's not carrying fluorine or anything really toxic. Anybody hear anything about that? Now, supposedly this balloon, now Lee is tracking aircraft that's tracking it, and it looks like it's coming down into southeastern Tennessee. International situation development from, remember, the USS Indianapolis. Oh, yeah, we've got a lot of situations brewing right now. We've got this Iranian ship that's going from Brazil up into the Panama Canal. Explosion above Billings. That balloon was not in Billings at that time. The question is, where's the second balloon? But I just showed you, Jeff, that the governor and all the officials in Montana are in steep denial of that. If you go to Lee Wheelbarger's channel, he says that he checked it out and it didn't happen. But what you see is there's a video of flash. Now that flash may or may not have been. Show me a video of a plane shooting it down. Show me one. Nobody has shown me a video of a plane shooting it down. I have not seen one video of a plane shooting at one of these balloons. And at that altitude, they probably couldn't hit it anyway. Yeah, Montana Cowboys and Backyard Sams. That might be it, buddy. So, but I haven't seen a single video. What we've seen is a video of a guy looking at a contrail right above his chimney, and then you see a flash. I don't know what that is. I don't know. I've been lightning. I'd have been something else. Okay, Arnold. Watched your balloon video earlier. Thank you there, Patrick. So watch the video from the lady that shot the video. I've seen it. Palestine, Texas has the train. Oh, Palestine, Texas. Oh, now that's over where they make the balloons. That's highly suspicious. Rudy Giuliani showed it on his channel. Okay. All right. How about a mod giving me a link? I've had people send me these links. I don't have them in my thing right now, my queue of stuff. All right. Palestine, Ohio, and Palestine, Texas, two different things. One shot. Now, the balloon manufacturing plant for Aerostar in the United States is in Palestine, Texas. There is a launch facility at Sulphur Springs. That's why I got confused the other day. I have had people send me, as I said, I've had probably 40 different people send me video of that so-called display. All I ever saw in all those videos was the same image. I saw a contrail over a chimney and flash. It was two flashes, actually. Lightning makes two flashes, incidentally. So flash up and a flash down. So I don't know what it was. Any balloons now? Well, Ken, there is the balloon that was spotted initially, which from the look, I didn't say it's chlorine. I just hope it ain't. You know, sometimes trains move stuff like that. Sometimes trains move really toxic chemicals, and that's what you hope you never crashes. We had one had some real toxic chemicals derailed just west of Huntsville many years ago. One of my friends I used to work for, previous NASA lead, Randall Tucker. I mentioned his name on here because one of you guys are from his area. One of the guys that comes to my chat room actually knows Randall Tucker. He was involved in cleaning that crash site up because he worked trains before he went to NASA. Are they evacuating around the train road? That's how you know. If they're evacuating, you'd be worried about it. Yes, it's about 15 miles from my house in East Texas. They're evacuating people a mile around. Okay, now see, I got one person saying it's in Texas and one saying it's in Ohio. It's two different Palestines, but the one who's saying it's in Texas and they're evacuating people closer to home, I tend to go with that. Lisa Bradley. You know what I'll do? I'm going to scan for train derailment, Texas, see if something comes up. Train derailment, Texas. Union Pacific merchandise train derailed in El Paso Monday night. That's not what we're looking for. There is an article for Palestine, Ohio. Massive fire. Okay. This says caught on camera train derailment in Southeast Texas. Okay, we got two train derailments. So no, that's on October 29th. So the Southeast Texas was October 29th. El Paso was the 30th. Let's see what else we can find here. So the one that's 2 hours ago is this train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. Oh, it's got some massive fire. Okay, I'll share that. Hang on, guys. Come back to my screen from which I can share. There we go. Blow up. East Taggart. Hey, Survival Living, thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you very much. East Taggart Street. Excuse me, guys. I got a frog in my throat. There's a picture of quite a fire there. That's not good. East Palestine, Ohio. Okay, Ohio, Palestine is the one that's got it. Hey, John Cole. Colonel Cole's in the house. How you doing, Colonel Cole? Carl, what do you think about this balloon? If we're going to go look at fire departments from Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia been called, it says. Yeah, that's big. Well, look at the flame. This is taken from some distance away, you can tell, but that's a ginormous flame. You wouldn't even want to be close to it. I did not say that 3 balloons are in USA. Do not put words in my mouth, Mr. Carr. See, that's the problem. People will see a thumbnail and they'll jump conclusions and make claims of stuff that I'm not saying. I did not say there's 3 balloons in the USA. There's only 1 balloon in the United States that we know of. You did not listen to the beginning of the video either. And I showed you in the beginning of this video that 1 balloon is claimed by the Canadian Ministry of Defense to be in Canada. The U.S. Department of Defense says there's another balloon, and it says in Latin America, but other sources say it actually crossed over. I get this from Lee Wheelbarger, over Costa Rica, more specifically. Latin America is huge. Jack-on weapon Biden is compromised. Oh, well, that may be it. Maybe it. Arnold says, yeah, 3, 1 in Saskatchewan, just east of Arnold. Arnold is in Alberta. Saskatchewan is east of him, and 1 in Tennessee, and 1 went over Costa Rica. There you go. I never said there was 3 in the United States, so don't come in here trying to put words in my mouth. Oh, another guy said it. Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, I just saw your comment. Oh, you're talking to him. My apologies, but I'm just so used to people putting words in my mouth and coming in, leaving messages later. Well, the worst thing is a lot of times I will post a link to my video on user groups on Facebook to try to get them to come see a certain video that's in their topic. And you'll get people make all kind of comments. And you know that your whole video will be about this. The only way they can make the comment that they made was they didn't watch 1 second of it. I get that. People make snap decisions based on a title or a thumbnail picture or just what they think you're going to say when they don't know anything about you in the first place. People make snap judgments all the time, and most of the time they're wrong. I'd say 99 out of 100 times people shoot from the hip make snap judgments are wrong. Maybe 999 out of 1,000, probably more like it. They're almost always wrong. Not only wrong, but bad, grossly bad wrong. So it helps to go in. Thank you there, Ryder Dust. Appreciate that. Appreciate that very much, guys. So yeah, we got 275 in the room and only 123 likes. It really helped me out. Y'all give me some more thumbs up. Greg, I appreciate the information and you style you delivering in to keep us informed. I try, I really do. I try to bring the transporting incendiaries by rail involves many moving parts and a lot of potential fail points. You got that right. As a safety engineer, that's what you look for is failure points. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. And some systems have a whole lot of chains, a whole lot of links. That's what you get with a rocket, for example. So not 3/4 of the population, or you might be under there something there, Northern Partisan. Rochelle says, "Good to be with you." Well, thank you. And saying that to New Days, very good. Joshua, how do you say it? Whopper, WOPR. I don't know if that's right. I'm sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Hope you're all safe on the stateside. Hey, down in Western Australia, very good. Peter, Western Australia. Military and wives in here. Speak up, Eric. There you go. Speak up. All right. Let's say hi. I might have spread your videos around a little bit today. Well, thank you. No, I didn't get any I probably didn't get blowback from that. I'm just telling you, a lot of times I hear a lot of blowback. Wow, Hop. Thank you, Hop. Excellent. There's more than one. My question is, what kind of defense systems does NORAD have that it couldn't be detected in the long track across the ocean? Okay, that's a very good question. That makes for some good discussion. Let me stop the sharing. Let's talk. Maybe I should bring up Google Earth. I can do a lot of stuff in Google Earth. There you go. Look at YouTube. I put train derailment in East Palestine, Texas. Looked on YouTube. So maybe there's another one there. There was an East Texas train derailment in October. So do you have another one there? You just said your area is being evacuated. So we have Palestine, Texas, and Palestine, Ohio, both having train derailments the same night. Wow. You know, that's kind of like two food processing plants getting hit by airplanes. Probability of even one of them ever hitting. You know, when planes crash, you know, really and truly, guys, I got to get back up this other question. This country is almost vacant. You crash a plane 99 times out of 100, it's going to crash in a field or a forest, or even if it comes down in the city, it's probably not going to hit a person. It's just, we think we're all wall-to-wall people, but we're not. When a food processing plant is specifically hit by a plane, and then another one gets hit by a plane, that's so coincidental. Oh my gosh, wow, what a coincidence. Oh yeah. Okay, so some of these events you really got to wonder. If we've got two Palestine Texas we're trained to wear tonight, that's going to be really up there. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but if that's going on, then you know, my wares are way up. Now, somebody had asked me a question. I got derailed. I need to come back to it. Oh yeah, I remember what it was. I was asking about explaining why it is that we didn't see this stuff coming. The United States has a NORAD, United States Space Force is a big part of this now, has a massive radar network that looks north to see intercontinental ballistic missiles coming up from Russia. And we got some assets that are now looking at Korea. Hopefully we got some looking toward China. So what we're looking for is missiles, warheads coming up through space on the ballistic trajectory. I need a big ball. I can use my little Earth here. It's not a big ball. It's not as good. But let's say here's the Earth. And Russia is right here, Mother Russia, right here. And the United States is here. Well, if they launch, they're going to come up over the pole. And those missiles that launch, I said, low Earth orbit satellite, now, the Earth is 8,000 miles in diameter. If that's 8,000 miles, 100 miles up above it, where you lowest altitude you can orbit a satellite, is you wouldn't hardly be able to see through it. You know, the difference between the surface of Earth and that part of orbit, because it's 100 miles out of 8,000 is nothing, you know, or 4,000 mile diameter. It'd be very hard to discern. It'd be almost the edge of this thing. The atmosphere, most of the atmosphere is in the first 20 miles. 99% of Earth's atmosphere is in the first 20 miles. And it drops off rapidly going up, but it's still enough to give you a lot of drag. If you get about 100 miles, you can orbit for a little bit. 200 miles is a lot better. Space station's about 240 miles, but it still gets drag and has to be reboosted. So, but what happens is the satellite, now the ballistic missiles come up a little bit higher arc than a satellite going around. They come up and they come back down. They're not in orbit, but they just shoot up in an arc and they come back down. And so they'll shoot them over the poles. So we got radars over here looking for these things coming up. And that's where most of our assets are. We're looking over the North Pole to see these missiles coming over. So we may have a few over here looking back toward Korea, maybe something toward China, I hope. We got something that might be in Hawaii. You know, we could monitor China from Hawaii, or even Kwajalein Island, you know, or somewhere out there, maybe even Guam. So, you know, we can monitor from China from other places, but, you know, and there are ship assets too. But for the most part, we're not looking across the ocean. For the most part, we're not looking. And the other thing is we're looking up high. We're not looking low. Even our radar is only their line of sight. With the curvature of Earth, you're only, yes, the curvature of Earth limits what you can see coming at you over the horizon until it gets really close. But even then, a lot of our radars are still looking high. You can slip in under the radar. Well, these balloons could come to us all the way from China and you wouldn't see it coming. Another thing about the balloons is their envelope is a plastic. The big balloons have polyethylene. Hey, thank you. Yeah, hey, I'm really close to being to 60,000 subs, guys. So if you're not subbed, if you sub, you might get me there. We might go join Lee. We got 323 people in the room tonight. So I hope if you're not subbed, give me a subscription. If you at all like what we're doing here, Alec, those balloons are high enough to cause widespread EMP. Yeah, they can. Look, I've shown. I'll show this chart again. I've shown this chart. I've done videos where all I do is talk about EMP. Now, some of those old videos, I got several where I've shown these charts, and I've shown them in the last couple. I think 3 times I've talked about this. We're going to talk about that. I'll go back and show those charts in a minute. So. I was thinking I didn't have to go back through and regurgitate some of the stuff I've shown, but I see that I do. Okay, so we'll do it here in a minute. But let me finish what I'm saying now. The balloons are made mostly out of plastic. They don't reflect radar. Radar reflects off metal principally. Hey, Hawk, thank you. Another 10. Wow. A balloon that size can carry 1 ton plus many undetectables by sniffer drones, bioweapons, nukes. Yeah. I wouldn't worry about the bioweapons. A lot of people I'll tell you why. I'm going to repeat this. And just a nuke to drop on a city, I wouldn't worry about, honestly, because relatively speaking, an EMP nuke is going to kill more people than New York. If you blow up New York City, if you destroy every city in America with a nuke, in fact, or you EMP our country, more people will die from the EMP. It'll take longer, but more people, including all the people in the cities, they'll die anyway. They'll just die over longer, slower death. They'll starve to death. They'll eat each other. It'll be miserable. A nuclear attack on the cities might put them out of the misery. That's a terrible thing to say. It's a very terrible thing to say. But yeah, most people are going to die. More people will die from EMP. And if we have a war, a nuclear war, EMP will be the first leg up. That EMP is going to kill more people than the warheads. That's something a lot of people don't realize. And the nuclear power plants in America will, as they cook off, because you can't keep them cool, and even the spent fuel rod pools outside are going to be worse. In fact, the spent fuel rod pools is the thing I worry about the most. So we're getting off on a lot of tangents here. So so let me kind of get back to this discussion of the balloons. I'm still answering the first question. So they are mostly undetectable. They are plastic. Like this one up here has got a truss structure. It could be composite. It could be made out of stuff that don't reflect radar that well. But our radars aren't really looking up, over the ocean. These things come out of the Pacific Ocean, apparently, around Puget Sound area, and went up into Canada and came back down over Billings, Montana area, and over, Malmstrom Air Force Base, and then it's come down not far north of me, in fact, just up highway. It crossed I-65. Listen, we'll go to Lee's channel a little bit, see what he's covering over there. Spent fuel rods, steam exposed. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you got to worry about from the nuclear power plants. And the problem with, see, the nuclear attack, most of the radiation is going to be gone after 2 weeks. It drops off real fast. But those darn spent fuel rod pools will just keep radiating, keep on and keep on and keep on for a long time. Yeah, it's a gift that keeps giving. It's ugly. I'm more concerned about those than I am the stinking nuclear warheads. All right, drones and plastic. Move faster. Drones, they could drop a drone swarm, absolutely, from one of these balloons. And I got to do another drone storm video shortly. So I will do another drone storm video. All right, so guys, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show y'all this footprint of what you could do. These balloons that are up there are put up by, let me share that first. I'll show he's doing them. Let me show you how I'm going to do this. So obviously by the questions, a lot of you guys hadn't seen the other videos I got. Jason says they have to come down somewhere. Yeah. And if weather events disrupted your intended target spread, no way to abort the operation. You lost your first strike. Well, true, but apparently these balloons have got a lot of margin. They're putting a lot of ballast in them. So, and the ULDB balloon is good for 100 days on some missions. So these the super pressure balloon technology has gotten better with better materials. Drone swarm missile defense. Jason, amen. Jason, that's my answer for missile defense and for stopping the hypersonics. They say, oh, you can't stop hypersonics. Oh, yeah, you can. Now, for something that's coming off the coast, hypersonic missile off the coast, then for that, I'd probably use like barge balloons, like they had barrage balloons, like they had back in World War II, World War I, just these blimps. And I put lasers on them. But, for stopping something coming in real fast off the coast, and that would take care of it. There's a lot of ways to do it. Even if the way the laser was too much, I put the laser on the ground and just have reflected mirrors upon the blimp. or drones or whatever you're flying up there. All right, so let's go and do some shares. I am going to take y'all to another site here. Hang on. There's other stuff that I've covered in the past I'm getting questions about again, so we're going to go back. All right, so that's the train derailment. And Zoom is fighting me. Yeah, I don't know. Some of these stinking applications here. Everything wants to go the same place. You can't control nothing. All right. This is a company that makes balloons here. It's not the one I was wanting to go to. May have closed it. Oh, yeah, there it is. The company in China that's developing these balloons is called Air. I kid you not. It's Aerospace Information Research. Oh, why does it go blank so far? Institute, Air. And the balloons that they have built, this is it. So they're measuring more than 100 meters. I think that's a length uninflated. Their displacement's 180,000 cubic meters. Now I'd have to convert that to cubic feet to calculate buoyancy, because that's what I'm used to using. That's how I buy helium when I would do a balloon launch. So I'd have to convert that to cubic feet. But I used to buy helium. I would. You might get displacement of buoyancy of about 14.7 pounds of a cubic feet of helium per pound of lift, but I always use 16 pound for my number because I wanted some margin. Now, what is this? This says somewhere here it says they designed this to be able to get it up to. In fact, the one they flew here actually got to 30 kilometers. Yeah, there it is. Gondola is roughly 18 miles in the sky. 18 miles is 30 kilometers. And they've said that again somewhere else in probably one of these other articles. They can carry 1.2 tons. Maybe this is the article that actually called it out. During this test, the uninflated length of the balloon is 100 meters. Okay, yeah, 180,000 cubic feet. Yeah, I showed y'all this the other day. I had it highlighted. Oh my God, they put some awful pictures in these stupid ads. Anyway, it's 30 kilometers basically. Now I'm going to show y'all what 30 kilometers means in the real world. Hang on, we'll stop this share. And I'm going to open up, I picked the right PowerPoint file. I got several PowerPoint files up and I got to pick the right one. That's it. All right. Right spot. Put it in presentation mode. It's not the one I want to show you. Give me a second, guys. There. Just in presentation mode. I'm going to shrink it down though before I do this. If I eat my screen up, I won't be able to control things the way I need to. I need two screens. All right, all right, now we're in presentation mode on it. Now we'll do a share. Find my button here. And share screen. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Oh, booey. Went back to what? What am I sharing? I don't think I'm sharing that. Oh, yeah, okay, I'm sharing the PowerPoint. The stupid other thing jumped in front of it. I don't know why I did that. My screen. All right, 30 kilometers. This is the circle that an EMP could be effective over if detonated at 30 kilometers up. Hey, Wendy, how you doing? Late is better than never. Held in air by hydrogen. We're usually using helium. Hydrogen, but helium is getting to be more rare and harder to get a hold of. Hydrogen actually is a better lift gas. It gives you more buoyancy, but helium is most likely right now. But helium is getting kind of scarce, so we may be going more and more to hydrogen in the future. Some guys are using hydrogen in balloons more now than they were. Yeah, it's the threat radius is a function of altitude. Jason got it exactly right. So at 30 kilometers, this is a huge area. This is hundreds of miles. Look, several states are in the middle. This thing has in the middle of it all of Kansas and Nebraska. most of Oklahoma, eastern Colorado, including Colorado Springs, is in this. Western Missouri, half of Iowa, South Dakota, and that little circle, parts of Texas, corner of New Mexico, almost goes to Arkansas. You see, guys, there's a lot of area in that circle. If this were exploded over the missile bases, it could, an EMP superweapon detonated at a lower altitude will give you a more intense EMP over the smaller area. So if you really want to make sure you fry a good area, that's what this would be good for. If you're coming in over the missile bases, bam. DC, bam. So that's what you would worry about. Now, what I have tried to explain in my video I posted earlier today is with 1.2 tons of payload capacity, I could build a very significant rocket and put a nuclear warhead on top of it and launch it to a higher altitude. My Raccoon, which the rocket weighed maybe 150 pounds, was capable of hitting over 100 kilometers. Now this circle goes from Canada almost to Mexico. It goes almost to the western edge of Utah on one side and over to Indiana on the other side. It's little bits of Kentucky, Memphis, yeah, northern Mississippi. Look at that, a good bit of Texas. Yeah, a circle like that would get a good part of the country. You'd put 3 of those over the United States and you get almost the entire country. If I had a balloon like those guys did, I could build a rocket to do a job like that. And I'll show you what I'm talking about in a minute. Some people, you know, I've shown this several times, but since y'all are asking these fundamental questions, y'all, this is the effects of an EMP. I will do a presentation. We'll go more into this in the future. This is more the science of it. Today we're talking about balloons. I don't want to throw people off talking science. There's another depiction of EMP reach. With fill strength. This is for a given altitude. It's not as a function of altitude. This is for an altitude detonated at 480 kilometers. This is your fill strength intensity. So this is one detonated in space, launched on a Redstone rocket, developed just down the road from me, where I work at. That rocket was developed before I was born. This actually occurred in, I believe, 1962 when I was a little baby. I was 2 years old. All right, this is what I was developing, guys. Me and my team. My team, it started out as a club project, HAL 5, Huntsville, Alabama, L5 Society. This is in the garage of Tim Pickens. He was a master at scrounging. And I used to say he could build a rocket motor out of a garbage, what he'd find in a garbage can. In fact, that nozzle there, this nozzle for the Halo SL2 rocket was actually an ashtray. Well, we used that as the form to build a composite nozzle on. So, and we did high-tech composite layups, but sometimes we would use interesting sources to make it work. This was our little vacuum chamber here. Now, this was Tim Pickens' garage at the time. So, and that is Gene Young, and that was his garage. Gene has passed away, unfortunately. These pictures were taken that was probably 25 years ago. That picture was taken. That had been 1997, 1998, probably 1998. That's when that picture was taken. 25 years ago. This is on the deck of the NASA Pearl River barge. This is our Halo SL2 rocket, Skylaunch 2. Skylaunch 1 rocket made a Guinness Book of World Records. We launched it from Topsail Beach, North Carolina, out over the Atlantic Ocean. Dealing with the air traffic corridors there was a pain, so we took stuff out to the ocean. It made it easier to launch a balloon, and the air traffic was easier to deal with. John says scientific experiment. Yeah. Everybody keeps asking about biological. I've discussed this before. Listen, guys. Let me finish this talk. I'm going to talk about the biologicals. I do not believe you can cause an infection by launching biologicals from a balloon, unless you land a balloon. But if I wanted to do a bio attack, that's not how I would do it. No, there's far more effective ways to launch a biological attack. They're cheaper and easier and would be far more effective. Dirt easy. So Granny was in here, wasn't she? Hey, Wendy, I think Granny was in here earlier. Not good way to do it. Exactly. So yeah, this is not. Yeah, I've had my other videos, like a third of the chats comments, people thought they were worried about biological. In fact, there's a member in Congress, I don't know if it was a representative or a senator, was talking the same thing. So yeah, we got to educate folks. Look, I'm a engineer, I'm a scientist, I understand these things. So bear with me a minute. We'll go back to that. This is see, this was 25 years ago. What you saw in Gene Young's hand was right this piece right here, the avionics module in his garage. So that picture was taken before this one. This was 20 June 1998, 25 years ago. This rocket is hanging from the ceiling of Straight to Ale Brewery in Huntsville, Alabama right now. It's got a raccoon on it. And the fin has our Halo logo painted on it by Steve Mistake's wife. His wife is an artist, Carrie. Whoa. Blew through a bunch of charts all at once. So this is our balloon being inflated on the deck of the Pearl River barge. Either I'm taking this picture or I'm in it, one of the two. If I'm in it, I'm either down here or over here. This is where our helium tanks are. We carried like 40 helium tanks. Maybe it's twice that to fill this thing up. This is our balloon launch return vehicle. This is a remote controlled rocket powered airplane to be launched from a balloon. And this is Tim Pickens. Tim spun off his own company, Dynetics, from this stuff, and no, he spun off Orion Propulsion and sold it to Dynetics. Tim was a master rocket builder, guys. He was really brilliant on how to produce these things. Greg, have any of the balloons come down yet? Don't know of any of them coming down, but there is a prospect that this balloon may be coming down. It seems to be losing altitude. We'll go over and check Lee Wheelbarger's channel a little bit. He's actually covering it live at the moment. So this is our balloon launch return vehicle subscale models being launched. And this is the full. Now these had remote control. These were, we had a controller out there to steer this guy, and land it. We were testing our ability to control this thing when we flew it. And this is the one that we put on a balloon and send up. This was launched out of the Gulf of Mexico. And there it is. This is the C. Michael Calais workboat that I rented out in the Gulf of Mexico. That little tuft of hair out there is me. That is Mike Smith, the chief engineer of Raven Aerostar Corporation that built the balloons. That's probably Steve Mistakis. This is Glenn May. Glenn May died at the cold flow test of Spaceship Two in the Mojave Desert. That test detonated and killed 3 people, him being one of them. There we are. Here we are in the Gulf of Mexico again with the Hark Catch Prize rocket. This is my company. Now we spun a company off. My company was Hark. I was president of Hark. I was a president of Hark, and I was a program manager for all this stuff. It's very different projects. That project and this project were very different projects, and we did them 2 years apart. We also did this the same year we did that. That was in June. Just a few months later, we're out there doing this one. And then we did this one. And the motor that I show you guys all the time at my knee, I'm not going to show it right now because I'm still in share mode, is this piece right here. This thing's 17 from here to here, 17.5 foot long. That rocket, if everything had worked correctly, would have hit over 100 kilometers, and it was only a few hundred pounds, a couple hundred pounds. I was either 150 or 300. I have to go back and check my data. It's been a while. Guys, it's been 20 years. No, 23 years. This was our uplink avionics module, our ground stations that we built for tracking. Anyway, guys, I know balloons, I know EMP, and I know rockets. Oh yeah, that's the balloon that's up right now. These are systems that I know. These are things that I have done. I have been involved in these areas for decades. So your other YouTube channels talking about this, they don't have anywhere near the depth and the background that I bring to you here and the knowledge of. All right, let me stop this here, and I can talk other things very knowledgeably also, such as we'll talk about biologicals. Firefox is mostly Mac browser. Okay, so talking about browsing. Anyway, so I made funnel smoke. Okay. Funny like a tree. I always use Firefox on Windows. Only Firefox I know is that mold that grows in the dark, that grows in rotted wood. That sometimes you're making campfires, you run into it. You cross it when you're in the woods at night. You find it in rotting wood. It's cool. I love Firefox. Foxfire, excuse me. G12 Productions, Green Graves. Time to bring out the SO2 rocket and shoot that thing down. There you go. Or you must be Tim Pickens. Yeah. I got that rocket hanging straight to El Brewery. Yeah, somebody with that kind of knowledge, I believe you are Tim Pickens. Am I right or wrong? Maybe you won't admit it. Jason, we got Colonel Cole in the house tonight too. Let's see, do you test things with EMP and White Sands on that WWIII platform? No, I don't, but I knew people that was involved in that. You know, Dr. Pry used to be involved in that. You know, he was in I've had him on several of my videos. I know people that were involved, but not me. SG12 is laughing. So I'm gonna show SG12 something. I'm sure SG12 remembers. Yeah, remember I showed y'all there was that little section of the rocket motor, the rocket that's the Hart Catch Prize rocket. That's it right there. And I walked into an airport with this on my shoulder after 9/11, Huntsville International Airport. I walked right in there with this on my shoulder like I owned the place. Nobody said jack to me. Hey, appreciate the super chat there, Hawk. How you doing? Greg, we are both old vets from better times. My question is, who can we trust? As for me and mine, Joshua, there you go. Yeah, trust in the Lord. Have faith in no man, trust no man, saith the Lord. We're all fallible. But you know, when you elevate somebody and give them adulations continuously, like once they become president, even if they're good, their worldview is going to get warped. Child stars have very warped worldviews. All your dictators have very warped worldviews, as do most world leaders, but dictators especially, because you know only yes men get to survive around them. That's where that old story about the emperor's robe, and he was naked and didn't know it. That's why that story makes sense, because this is a characteristic of human nature that's always been true from the Stone Age. It's always been true. Human nature don't change. Our founding fathers and the Greek philosophers understood human nature better than we understand it today. They wrote voluminously, great detail works describing this, and they were right. Nothing written today improves on that. So people that think they're smarter than the guys who wrote this document are a bunch of fools. I'll tell them that to their face, because those guys, that's what they did. They studied directly, guys like John Locke and people like that. So they studied people who really knew a lot about governance, about government. They studied very much the examples of what worked and what failed with the Greek system, what worked, what failed with the Roman system. They learned that democracies never would survive a single generation. We learned that from the Greek experience. Republics last longer, but they're not permanent. And that was seen also. That's why when somebody asked Ben Franklin, what are you creating there at the Independence Hall in Philadelphia? He said, a republic if you can keep it. They were very skeptical that this stuff would last long. Egyptians know as well. Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, humans are humans. We've always been. Blew over Kansas City about a half an hour ago. Well, I do believe that the one we've been tracking is over East Tennessee right now. Maybe it's moved further. It may be down into Georgia. Tim, this thing is coming down where all our balloons used to go down, I believe, or it's going over that area. All our balloons used to go up to northeast or northwest Georgia and northeast Tennessee. No, excuse me, southeast Tennessee, and the area where they filmed Deliverance. And a lot of our guys, you know, our team, you know, this is Huntsville, Alabama. People come all over the world here to Huntsville. We had a lot of guys from up north. So when we go out in the woods tracking around and trying to find our stuff around the farmers asking if we could explore. Yeah, I'm from Alabama, Paul. Asking if we could explore, I said, guys, let me do the talking. Big John says, second balloon from Canada coming, one in Hawaii. Oh, one in Guam. Now I've had yeah, well, we know one crossed Latin America. We know one. Now that was reported by our Defense Department. They said it was confirmed that there was one that crossed. They said Latin America. My sources say Costa Rica. Latin America is pretty big. The Canadian Minister of Defense said they confirmed a balloon in Canada. I ain't heard nothing more about that. That just got real quiet in the United States for some reason. But I'm hearing from other people, other sources, there's other balloons are being spotted out west. I don't know. We shall find out. I hope not. I feel that the generation that fought the Revolutionary War grew tired of war and were eager to get the building in their future. So yeah, you know, that's the whole purpose of war, is to clear the mess out so you can have a future. Because, you know, what's the government do? It metastasizes. It grows and grows, and the corruption grows, and all this stuff grows into it. And it just grows and grows and grows. And these people don't want to turn loose of their power. And my precious, my power. You know, they get all enamored of their power, their jobs, and they don't want to turn loose of it. They want to keep it growing. Oh, yeah. And like you probably heard, the FBI is going to build a new headquarters. Just been announced. The headquarters is going to be 2 times as large as the Pentagon. Co-BJ song name, The Moon in the Sky, is Xi Moping. Song name. Okay. Well, I wished I could read your writing there. No, I wished I could pronounce it. Too bad we don't have an audio feedback where we can actually chat with each other. Recovering soul, hi Arnold. No, we don't have any word of it being shot down yet, guys. I'm gonna go. We'll go over to Lee's channel in a second. Lion Rex says, if there are 3 balloons and maybe the Chinese are triangulating to do something. Well, if they were closer together, they're over the horizon from each other. Being over the horizon, they're not triangulating anything. Over the horizon, because Earth is curved. If you deal with communications, you deal with lasers, aviation, rockets, you know the Earth is round. Some people have a hard time with that. You know, I hate petroleum projects. Rubbing Vicks on the bottoms of your feet will help stop coughing. Wow. Yeah, my throat is a little hoarse. I got to go outside and fire up my greenhouse a little bit. Anyway. All right, no wordy dirts, guys. We don't. What I don't want in the chat room is foul language. It may be a mild wordy dirt, but we don't do that here. We keep this a family-friendly channel. Is this an EMP? Triggered? Probably not. If it was, it probably would have set it off already when it was over Minot or Malmstrom Air Force Base. But with more balloons coming, you don't know for sure. You really don't know for sure. This one might be headed down to some other target, like off the East Coast. Maybe one of or a submarine bases. So we don't know for sure. It still could be. It still could be. Or this could be a dry run. Or maybe they think, well, if you let the first one through and there's nothing there, maybe you'll let the second one in. I don't know. There's biodispersion. Thank you. I was going to talk about biodispersion. Peanut, you brought me back to it. Thank you. I keep reading the chat and everybody wants to know different things. I get distracted. Biodispersion. Oh, man, you're great tonight. You really helped me out. Fools like me went to war to die for what? Defending who? Look deep. Think all John Wayne, horror, morality. What do we fight for after World War II? Oil? Who paid? The innocent, old, young lives. Yep. Absolutely. A lot of us got sent to places that made no sense. It was, there's that old saying that all wars are banker wars. Song named The Moon in the Sky is Jimoping. Probably I'm saying that wrong. Is that right, Cole? So let's talk about biological dispersion. These balloons float way up in the stratosphere. And if you were to spray out a bunch of bacteria, viruses, say if you had an aerosol spray, you're spraying this stuff out. Now, you're not going to spray a virus. How do you spray a virus? You got to put it in something to spray. So maybe water droplets or mist. So many people say, oh yeah, mask won't work because the pores in the mask are bigger than the virus. There ain't no virus just floating around in the air. They're inside of a droplet of water somebody sneezes out. So you got to drop the water drops. But it turns out they had the test and the evidence after all these years is those masks didn't do nothing. All those mandates and they were useless, So didn't do any good by the face diaper, but but anyway, some people like to hide behind them. But anyway, so it didn't really accomplish anything other than giving some people a sense of power. They made them wear those things. You had to wear them. You had it because I said so. Anyway, so there was that power trip again. U.S. Stockton Air Force scrambles to send 3 planes to confront Chinese spy balloon over Montana. Okay, Patrick, is that like right now? Is that the one from Canada? Is it coming in? Is this new news? Or are you talking about the one that's now getting down my direction? There's 8 balloons en route. Oh. That would be very concerning. Basket or casket. Oh, thank you, D23. Matterman, how you doing? So, Boone Freak will do too. Okay. All right, you got the idea. We got to use clean language, Boone. All right, so Ken Swallow says, what was blown out of the sky over Montana today? Yeah, we talked about that earlier here. Yeah, we'll have to verify this on the number of balloons. I was getting messages from people a couple of hours back that there were reports of other balloons. Could be. All right, so let me get back to this dispersal thing. On the stratosphere, if you drop all these particles of virus, even being droplets of water, whatever, UV, I've done a video. One of my ways of purifying water was, I don't have one here by. If you have a clear plastic bottle that's got yay big around but yay long, just tie a string around it and throw it over your back. Put it on your backpack, top of your back pocket, walk around, turn it over some. The sun will shine, as long as the water's clear, once you filtered it, it will shine through the water, and the UV will kill the bacteria in that bottle of water. It'll take a couple of hours. The ultraviolet light going through all of our atmosphere, what makes it to the ground, will kill everything in that bottle of water, as long as it's not too big. Now, if it's glass, it won't work. It's got to be plastic. So, it's one time you want plastic. Now, so I've saved some plastic bottles just for that. Now, the other thing to know is that, so if you got all these got all these water droplets floating through the atmosphere, the UV will get them, especially at altitude. The UV is stronger. It's going to sterilize all that stuff. It's going to kill your biologicals. Now, if you release them at night, you go, oh, okay, we'll release them at night when the sun's not shining. The problem is it takes hours and hours and hours for little bitty particles like that to drift down. So the problem won't be coming down the next day. And if they do, they're still going to be dispersed so widely. Chances of you, say, catching the flu from one virus, now it's exists that you could catch a flu from one viral particle, or you can get some disease from one bacteria. But most of the time when people get sick, it's because they take in several of these, and it overloads their immune system, and they get sick. Then they take over. Now, the worst sicknesses usually come when you have a severe viral overload. You get a lot of this stuff in you, and your immune system just can't do nothing, and it just hits you like a sledgehammer. Yeah, viral. So how much exposure you get to a bug may determine how bad you get sick, how bad you get the bug. So you want to kind of minimize that. So Swade Houston says the jet stream itself is 21 to 42,000 feet. Yeah, biological aerosols are released. They could hit you right on the jet stream. It would be dispersed. And again, even at those altitudes, look, on the surface of the Earth, 2 hours and a bottle of water, yay bigger around, you're going to sterilize it with the sun. So how are you going to, with just a water droplets, keep it? And then the jet stream will carry that stuff, blow it around. So even if you drop it at nighttime, it's got to go through that. It's not just going to all go straight to the ground. Most of that stuff is going to be destroyed. So a balloon is not cheap. Some of these balloons I used to pay 23 years ago, 25 years ago, I was paying $10,000 per balloon. I'd pay nearly that for helium. Now is way more expensive. I mean, you'd pay 30, 40,000, maybe $50,000 for the helium to fill one of these things now. Those balloons are probably $20,000, $30,000 a piece, the ones I was getting for $10,000. The avionics you developed cost money. That balloon project that you saw for the Hart Catch Prize rocket cost, 23 years ago, that was over $100,000. That was like maybe $50,000. And a lot of the labor that went into it is people working for stock. The Halo, now that balloon launch return vehicle, we did that project for $70,000. But I wheeled and dealed, and in order to be able to afford a boat, I sold a balloon launch to the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. So what you do when you commercial, you wheel and deal. Now, Tim Pickens know about that. He was very commercial. If he's still in the chat room, I believe that was him. But anyway, you wheel and deal. You have to. Cost will eat you up. You got to do something. So even the NSA has super high resolution cameras with radar controlled units, just like NASA. Oh yeah, they got better stuff. they got some really good stuff. And so is the NOAA. I mean, there's several agencies. NASA is not the only government agency that uses space. There's the NSA, the NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. They got a lot of stuff up there. There's the various departments of defense, now the Space Force. And the government's not the only one going to space in the United States. We got private companies. What we did is our HALO program was out of a garage. It was not a government program. It was not NASA. Not at all. And the amateurs satellite programs are not government. They're not NASA. This was for private entrepreneurship. You see this? What's it say? For entrepreneurship. Private, not NASA. This is a Space Pioneer Award I got in 1997 for a Space Launch 1 rocket. Got us in the book. Got us in the Guinness book, right, Tim? So provocation to our safety. Oh yeah, definitely that. It's rooted. Trespassing, that too, in our airspace. Well, the problem is you don't know what they could put on us. Let's see, assuming balloon comms, antennas, receipt, or our own focused EMP defense, perhaps a wandering algorithm behind the Faraday is still steering it. It's following the wind. Yeah, I heard some people in a press conference, a DOD press conference. Well, what's propelling it? What's steering it? And a balloon moves with the wind. It's that simple. A balloon is driven by the wind. An airship or a blimp has a structure to it that's pointed, and big rudders and engines that drive them around. An airship is a rigid body structure. There were airships. Well, the Hindenburg was an airship. It had metal ribs and spars, longerons, and just it had a frame. It was a ship to go in the air, airship. And some of them actually had little hooks where airplanes come up and get attached to them. So Trader Joe, do something. Truth Seeker, thank you. The third one is in Canada still. I don't know. I've heard some people talk about. Patrick, you tell me, does that come down to Montana now? The Navy describes it as the world's largest instrumented multi-environmental range capable of supporting surface, subsurface, air, and space operations. What is that, Patrick? Channels reporting on these bunch. Variously, but look, you're not going to get better reporting on the balloons. You're not going to get the kind of information I'm giving you from these other channels. Because you know what? The defense guy who was briefing could not answer the question. I laughed when he was asked, "Well, what's propelling him?" He dodged it. He was like a deer in the headlights. He didn't know. I'm going. Like my head was exploding. The wind. It's like a big sail. It's inflated. The wind pushes these things around. They don't have any resistance, like a ship at sea. They get pushed around by the wind. Well, the balloon gets even better because it's not got to drag part of its structure through the ocean. It's in the air, but it does float with buoyancy, kind of like a boat. It'll float like a boat. It's displacement, how much air you displace instead of how much water you displace. It's the same kind of a principle, but it's moved by the air. But you can change where you go by moving up and down and catching a different current of air that's moving in a different direction. Now, with these balloons, there's two ways of doing that. One, you carry ballast. If you carry ballast, when you drop the ballast, your weight decreases, you go up. Now, with a hot air balloon, if you just turn off the burners, you go down, right? But we're not talking hot air balloons. We're talking helium balloons, maybe hydrogen. To make them go down, what you do is you might vent a little bit of the gas. As we saw the picture of that balloon, Chinese balloon, it's got a huge ring where the fill structure is. So I'm sure they got valves in there where they can vent this stuff out. So that's would be what they got. Poor kid never had a balloon growing up, apparently. Poor kid. Give that boy a balloon. Lottie. A to Z Aerospace Services, is that you? Yeah. Hey, Paul, how you doing? Paul, how in the world did you come up with that? Yeah, that was a company I started. Paul, where did I know you from? Where do you know me from? Or just look me up. Yeah, A to Z Aerospace. That was one of my companies I started. Yeah, I've been doing space entrepreneurial stuff. That High Altitude Research Corporation. Look my name up. Google my name and put the word rocket in there. Put the word space in there. D. Sala Arnold is clearly scoping out Canadian Prepper. What's Arnold saying about Canadian Prepper? Hey, Canadian Prepper watches this channel. He watches this channel a lot. He also gets a lot of his speakers from me, a lot of his guests, which is good for them. It's good for both of them, actually. So I got no issue with that. I think it's good because if you come on my channel, you got a chance to get on a bigger channel. So you get on my channel as a speaker, you might get snapped up by Canadian Prepper. And then you get on a much bigger channel and get a bigger audience. So what was Arnold saying? Arnold, Truth Seeker, yes, it is still one region. Saskatoon, Saskatchewan report 3. Oh, so it's still there. Okay. So Arnold's telling us where it's at. It's still in Canada. It's near Saskatoon in Saskatchewan. So that's where Lee was talking about being on. We may go over to Lee's channel in a little bit. Cyber Cheese 93. Cyber Cheese. That's funny. I want my own strategic balloon. Man, you can do it. Problem with these balloons are they're only usually good for one flight, one mission. Because the structure, in order to have it lightweight enough, it's real flimsy, it's real thin. We're talking these polyethylene balloons are only a few mils thick. You can put your finger through it. If you put your finger through it, you've made a hole in it. When you made a hole in it, that balloon is not going to go to altitude. When we handled these balloons, launch them, we had to put gloves on our hands and be very careful with how we would handle the balloon. Basically, you didn't want to touch it at all if you could avoid it. And when you launch them to the ground, it's kind of tough. So they would build a little launcher. We called a Chomi launcher, which is basically big styrofoam peanuts that you would hold a balloon down with, and then you'd have a vehicle on the other side that you could drive. And then you can see where they use cranes for this with a boom that would move. So as they let the balloon up, this thing would chase it basically and keep the whole train in check, because you had to keep everything where the wind wouldn't blow it over, basically, was the objective on the ground. Paul Brewer, what happened? He retracted his comment. Also something about Huntsville. Paul, what was you about to say? You retracted it. I saw something about Huntsville. Oh, L5 Society. All right, very good. Yeah, we started these projects out as a part of the Huntsville, Alabama L5 Society. L5 Society was founded, from Huntsville, worked in Hartsville. Okay, Arsenal. Used to work for the, okay, got it. Name sounds familiar. Let's see, I am from Huntsville. Well, Hartsville, yeah. I'm up in Tony now. This was a plaque I was given, and let's see, in 2013. Oh my God, we are approaching the anniversary year. HAL 5 will be 40 years old this year. This is given to me 10 years ago for being a founder of HAL 5. The flame presented to Gregory H. Allison, HAL 5 founding president. Appreciation for fostering 30 great years, 1983 to 2013. Huntsville, Alabama, L5 Society. And you see the state of Alabama. You can see the orbit around Earth or the moon, and the L5 is kind of painted into Huntsville right here. There's 5 points in the two-body gravitational system where the gravities cancel each other out. It was proposed by Gerard K. O'Neill as a place for large-scale space manufacturing facilities. Gerard K. O'Neill created the concept that launched the L5 Society in my career. And here I am with Gerard K. O'Neill in Fairbanks, Alaska, at the University of Alaska in Fairbanks, back in the year 1981, when I was 21 years old. I'd started a chapter up there too. We called it the North Star L5 Society. I started one when I was at Fort Bragg. We called that the Cumberland County L5 Society. I've been a space activist since I was a teenager. I spent 10 years running the policy committee of the National Space Society. This is our magazine. I've got an article in this magazine describing LB Rules. How you doing? Hey, Greg, stopped by to say hi. I loved your info last night. Well, thank you, LB. Is it LB or IB? IB Rules? Paul, I work for Missile and Space Intelligence Center. Okay. Worked on the program, the Joint Research and Analysis Center on Missile Simulation. Very good. Indy Space knows. Now, have we got somebody here at Space? Indy Space. Jerry K. O'Neill. That's right. Gerard K. O'Neill. Indy Space. Now, you know, I got some buddies up in Indiana. You're not Pete Batar, are you, by any chance? Who is Indy Space? Let's see here. If you know me, Green Gregs, Galactic Gregs, you know I like alliteration. It's old Germanic, Anglo-Saxon, Nordic way of doing poetry. I've done this stuff for years. This magazine is from 2010. Concerning constellations, cancellation, Congress, and camels. So yeah, I include camels in this article about space and Congress. So in this article, I explain basically the process whereby I came up with a compromise that got us this program and this program at the same time. Both commercial space and a space launch system. All right, not Pete. Okay, do I know you, Indy Space? Yeah, I've been involved with some people that was Indiana space oriented. Let's see, do I know you? Do you know Pete? Pete Bitar is a guy that kind of drug me over to Moscow back in 2010, March of 2010. I like that trip. I may look you up next time I get to Alabama. Okay, very good. Were you in the L5 Society? I hadn't met. Were you in the L5 Society? See, we had a group in Indiana that was collaborating with us on some projects, some other commercial projects. That's why I went to Moscow. Not sure I understand the question. What's the question, Boom? Funny like a tree. Read NATO, not for another 100 years if we make it. Oh. Yeah, we're some very testy times here, guys. Very testy. That's why I'm into prepping. Don't know Pete. Okay. This is why I'm into prepping, guys. Really, my space stuff was kind of a prepping too. It's like the ultimate bug out. I figured if we didn't get out there, we were going to be extincted down here. And right now, that still looks to be the truth. I think maybe we drug our feet too long. Why does Google Earth black out areas, especially in the ocean? And once you see something in space, not L5, but cats experienced. Okay, cheap access to space. There were like 20 something, maybe 30 teams that were part of the Catch Prize thing. Several teams entered that. It was sponsored by the Space Frontier Foundation. David Anderman was in charge of that contest. I think it was his idea. Hey Stacy, how you doing? Not able to sleep now. There's 3 balloons flipping crickets in the White House. Oh, Stacy, people are talking about more balloons than that right now. There may be a bunch of them coming in at us from out west. We don't know yet. There may be more coming. There's chat in the chat room about other balloons. Don't know yet. Yeah, we've got 3 confirmed balloons. I showed you in the beginning. Go back and replay this article, this video. In the beginning, I showed you where the Canadian Ministry of Defense said they got a balloon in Canada. If you listen to Arnold Smith here, he's explaining that that balloon is it's over it's near Saskatoon, the town of Saskatoon. So in Canada, that's where it's at right now. The Saskatchewan and the Providence, the Saskatchewan. Providence is a Canada or bigger, several states put together, typically here in the United States, with the exception of maybe Texas and Alaska. They're that's our 2 biggest states. And we used to kid when I was in Alaska about Alaska breaking in half, and then Texas would be the 3rd largest state. Imagine that one might wake up one day with the ability to make the enemy's heart stop just by thinking a mean thought about them. Imagine everyone on Earth gaining this ability. I did a video early on in this channel called A Nuke in Every Pot. And it was about the spread of technology. It was about how it's inevitable that technology is going to, and biotechnology was the thing I was most worried about, because there are biolabs in every country. There already are biolabs in every country. I could put a biolab in my garage over here if I determined to do so. Sub and sub hunters. I could put a biolab in my garage if I so chose. There was something like in right after the year 2000, maybe 2004 or 5, there was a guy who ordered a genome. It was a scientist. He ordered a genome from the internet. He ordered the particles of the virus from the internet. He built it in his home lab. We are, and CRISPR is getting more and more sophisticated, and we're getting other tools kind of like CRISPR. This whole idea of developing bioweapons is growing. This is something that small groups, just like, see, this struck me back 25 years ago when we were building rockets out of a garage that could hit space on a shoestring budget. That's when it hit me. I got thinking this forward. I got to think about if we could do that. I thought, okay, you go backwards in time, just a few decades, people I knew were involved in building rockets, and it took a major nation, the strongest powers on earth, to build the capability that we were developing in a garage on a shoestring budget with a few guys working at night. So I said, wow, if this can happen, what can happen going forward? And it dawned on me that there will be a proliferation of technology of weapons of mass destruction. And we can't prevent it, really. You know, Elon Musk, I have met Elon and talked to him on 2 occasions. Yeah, Carol, but that technology is growing. It's getting more sophisticated. So this is one reason I support things like space development. You know, that's why I support Elon's idea that we go out in space and develop space clones. I don't think Mars is the best place. For better, for worse, probably the better idea for space habitats is where stinking Bezos is following George Kilnill's concepts. Bezos is like Darth Vader's Death Star, you know. I would say that, you know, he's owns the Washington Post. Politically, I favor Elon Musk a lot more than I would Bezos. But Bezos has, I think, the right technology concept for the habitats. Now, for the booster, you know, old Musk has got some cool ideas. Now, this actually was a 3D printed model made for me by Ben Husett. Now, Ben watches my channel some. He might be watching today. He is from Minnesota. He was in the old Minnesota chapter of the old Five Society. He sent this to me just a year or two ago. All right. So the fact that a balloon like that could get in is scary. Every great empire is falling, and what's up is down, and what's down is up. Yeah, that's kind of the way our country's thinking these days, you know. And it's biblical, you know. There'd be the day when everything that's good is called bad, and everything that's bad is called good. Well, here we are. Here we are. So, so now the Chinese know they can get these things in our country. They know we're probably not going to do dinkum about it, not with the current president. Moon habitat and asteroid mining outpost, sling the raw ore to the dark side and process it, and well, it's the far side, not the dark side, and low G, and build big stuff. Oh yeah, that's the whole idea. And you could take a lot of load off the ecosystem of Earth by mining and producing things up in space. That's also a part of the idea. And you launch all that stuff off the moon with a mass driver. It's a concept for electromagnetic coil gun, linear electric motor. T. Henry Combe of MIT was advancing those concepts back in the 70s. They were building mass drivers. He came up with the concept for how to launch from Earth to space to reduce Earth lift costs for bulk matter, like iron, water, you know, just bulk stuff, you know, so you don't have to pay the full launch cost. He figured he could launch for $1 a pound. Back then, launch costs were on the range of $10,000 a pound. Elon Musk is talking about maybe getting it down to close to $9 a pound. But the electromagnetic motor would still beat it. But in order to get through the Earth's atmosphere, he discovered that you needed to make it the shape of a telephone pole and have it 1 foot in diameter and 20 foot long. You need to lose about 3% of your mass on going out. That's what inspired, I think it was Jerry Pournelle, or was it? No, it's Jerry Pournelle to come up with the concept of rods from God. You turn it around and launch it from space down, and it goes off like a small nuke if it's tungsten rods. Well, I have extrapolated that to what could you do with iron castings. The moon has got a lot of iron on it. If you're launching from the moon and then shooting that back to Earth. A base on the moon, kind of like the harsh mistress, a base on the moon doing this. And yeah, it's horrendous. That's why I say China, we cannot afford for China to have a base on the moon and let's not be there. because it takes 3 days to get the moon. If you're launching an attack on the Chinese lunar base and you want to take them out, they'll see you coming. They will play video games or eat supper, breakfast, trim their toenails. They'll look and see you coming. They'll trim their toenails, eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and go to bed, sleep good, get up the next day, trim their toenails, pick their nose. What are they going to do for another day? And then they'll go back to bed. And then they'll get up and go, they're getting close. And they'll just aim at you and take you out. Because they got all this, they're in constant mass. They'll see you on your way. They'll shoot you. I mean, a spacecraft is almost indefensible unless it's made out of an asteroid, and then it's hard to have any propulsion that will drive it around. You need some serious shields to go after somebody else like that, and that's a very big detriment in spacecraft. You need lightweight stuff. So that would really, although Gerard O'Neill come up with the concept for a heavy spacecraft to go to the moon, but von Neumann spoke of humanity creating enough tech to eat the planet. Yeah, the von Neumann machines, and that is basically the idea that's come to be known as nanotechnology now. K. Eric Drexler wrote the book Engines of Creation, which launched this idea of nanotechnology. But if it goes wrong, it could turn the whole world into gray goo. And K. Eric Drexler was on the board of directors of the National Space Society. He was at MIT working with T. Henry Combe, building that mass driver, and Gerard K. O'Neill. And yeah, I know Drexler. His girlfriend at the time was Christine Peterson, and she was at one time the person that was over all the chapters in the National Space Society. I once became VP for chapters in the National Space Society before I became executive vice president and eventually the chairman of the executive committee, which was the CEO of the organization at the time. Solar panels will be better facing the sun, not underneath. Well, that's not the way you design a balloon. The balloon structure, it's a lot easier to hang stuff underneath and put stuff on top. Trust me, a lot easier. Sputnik 2.0, a balloon gap. Balloon might start the next pandemic. Dalton, you missed my discussion about that earlier. I don't think so. I absolutely do not think you're going to launch any bioweapon from a balloon. It would be extremely expensive and ineffective way to do it. So what I didn't tell you is how you're going to launch a bioweapon. You want to launch a bioweapon? Get you some kind of aerosol can and just go down to the subway and open it up. If you don't want to be nearby, just have it where to go off when you're gone. And put a little timer on a valve and stick it behind a column or somewhere, or on a cylinder, or put it in the vent in a bathroom or something, and just leave. Yeah, nanotechnology. Nanites. It's the whole idea of little bitty, small, microscopic robots that could self-replicate. Now, if you've ever read the book 2010, written by Sir Arthur Clarke, 2010, he talked about technology for self-replicating robots, and he was inspired by George von Tiesenhausen. George von Tiesenhausen got the job for NASA trying to figure out how to do a von Neumann machine. Wernher von Braun walked in his office and threw von Neumann's papers at him and said, von Tiesenhausen, you figure out how to build one of these, and we want one on the moon. He says, I need something I can land with a Saturn V. So he was given the constriction of 20-ton package. Could he develop a self-replicating robot with the technology that had there from 20-ton package? He figured out a way to do it. It wasn't going to be as elegant as nanotechnology, but it was that concept that enlightened Sir Arthur Clarke to write about the monoliths self-replicating in the book 2010. He credited George von Tiesenhausen. I knew George von Tiesenhausen. George von Tiesenhausen used to come speak to HAL 5. He's long dead now, but he used to come speak to HAL 5 fairly frequently. George von Tiesenhausen. Yes, sir, one of the German rocket scientists. I knew a bunch of them. They're all gone now. They're all gone. There's not many of the Apollo engineers left, just a few now. And not many moonwalkers left either. We're losing a lot of the Apollo astronauts, losing a lot of the engineers. Still a fair number of shuttle engineers, but the ones that were involved in the earlier design days were pretty much the same crowd that did the Apollo spacecraft, or the Saturn V rocket. The guys who trained me, my mentors, were guys that worked for von Braun. There were guys who worked on the Saturn V. Some of them worked on earlier rockets, like the Redstone rocket. Look up on go to Wikipedia and look up Konrad K. Dannenberg. Konrad Klaus Dannenberg. He was the guy who designed the injectors on the V2 rocket. He also was the guy who he was the deputy manager for the Saturn V program at one time. He was big, real big in the German rocket team, but he was also a real good, nice guy. He volunteered a lot of his time at space camp, teaching young people about space, trying to get them excited in engineering, and trying to get young. He got us in HAL 5 to come up with programs to help young people develop their payloads to fly on getaway specials on the space shuttle. He was a big inspiration to a lot of us. He really spent a lot of effort on young people, and you know, I was making Ali was nice. Look, one of the primary students he did the most work for was a guy last name of Henderson, Arthur Henderson, who was, you know, of African descent, very much. He didn't care what your religion was or where you were from or anything. It's just, did you love space? That was it. Do you love space? Are you interested in technology, science? That was all they cared about. And all these guys I knew were extremely polite. And von Braun had taught him, says, look, if somebody speaks to you in German, answer them back in English. And sure enough, I would see there was one who worked in the building I worked in. He didn't retire when all the rest of them did. He was like 95 and still working at NASA. And he would climb up. He worked in 4203, his last building. He worked for 4205, no, 4203, where I'm at now. He would go up the stairs to the 5th floor, walk up and downstairs every day. What's his name? Winter Dom, I believe. Winter Dom, you know, I'd see him in the parking lot and I'd say, Guten Morgens. And he'd say, good morning, or Wie geht es Ihnen? And say, how goes it with you? He would say it back to you in English. So, but he was a nice guy. Now, Konrad Dannenberg, I went to his house and carved his Christmas turkey on a few occasions. So, yeah, I knew Konrad. I knew Konrad well. Konrad actually was one of our founders of HAL 5 way back. So, yeah, I knew these guys. They're gone. I used to look up a lot of these old timers. See, I started out space stuff when I was a teenager. This is back when I was running my second chapter of the L5 Society. I was 21. I was 19 when I founded my first chapter. I was 18 when I joined. My 18th birthday, I went to the Marshall Space Flight Center and saw the Space Shuttle Enterprise. That was what I did for my birthday when I turned 18. So I've been in this for a long time, guys. Few days. Has any signals been picked up being emitted from the balloons? I have not heard of that. Surely it's transmitting. That's probably why they got such power. Benghazi? Oh, so not Benghazi. Well, that's a sad story. Dannenberg, D-A-N-N-E-N-B-E-R-G. Dannenberg, D-A-N-N B-E-R-G, Dannenberg. Vandenberg Air Force Base, I don't know. It's been fun, people. I got about, yeah, it's getting late. It's 2 here. Appreciate you being with us. We got 380 in the room. Wow. Pete Conrad. Oh my God, Pete Conrad was a fireball. Short guy, full of life. He actually piloted the DCX rocket. They had an F-16. Well, he was on ground, remote controlling at the console. There wasn't but a few people there. He was all for the commercial space stuff. Jess Spawnable was the Department of Defense sponsor for that rocket. Uh, I, as the chairman, I, as the head of the phone tree, way back in the early 90s, pushed and lobbied bureaucrats in the Department of Defense to approve the single stage rocket technology program called SSRT. Single stage, yes. Rocket technology program. I had to go to SSRT. So yeah, single stage rocket technology program. I pushed that. For that reason, the program manager, Bill Gallbatz, put me in the DCX Rocket Hall of Fame at the top of the list. You have to go on the Wayback Machine to find it now. It used to be a website. He's dead. But if you go on the Wayback Machine, you'll find my name at the head of that list because I pushed it politically. Now, it turns out Tim Pickens and I, Tim was in this chair, bought the remnants of the DCX rocket. He took the valves. I've got the structure, the framework for the avionics bay and the intertank, which had the first ever in America flight unit of aluminum lithium oxidizer tank. It's in my backyard, it's this direction. Pete Conrad piloted that thing. It's in my backyard. So I got the idea. One time I was going to try to sell pieces of this for mementos. I was going to make little mementos to sell to people, you know, space memorabilia. And I was going to get Pete Conrad to sign it. I called him, and Pete Conrad, he was like a kid laughing when he found what I had. And Jess Spottable happened to be in there. He said, Jess, come here, come here. Guess what this guy's got in his backyard? And he was just cutting up. He said, yeah, call my wife and we'll get it set up. And you know what? I drug my feet a little bit and Pete Conrad died. He had, I think, a motorcycle accident. He got killed. So that deal never went through. I should have moved a little faster, but I wasn't in the hurry I should have been in. I mean, his signature alone would have been worth a fortune at that point. I did a special on Pete Conrad on my Galactic Greg's channel. I did a video dedicated to Pete Conrad, talking about him being in the Gemini program, the Apollo program. He was a firebrand. He was a pistol. I like Pete. He had a lot of character to him, a lot of personality. Very enthusiastic, just full of life. His wife is one of my Facebook friends to this day. Yeah, his wife, Pete Conrad. Yeah, he was an Apollo astronaut, moonwalker. He was a firebrand, a great guy, great guy. Yeah, I still may do souvenirs. You know, I got a rocket motor test and I got this rocket motor here. That subscale BLRV rocket is up in Barn Loft. Tim Pickens has got, he used to have a whole museum worth of stuff. He used to have tons. Oh, we hit 60,000? Did we? Oh, let me look. Let me hit the refresh. Ding, 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 ding. 60,004 subscribers. Yeah, y'all did it tonight. Thank y'all. We hit 60,000 and 60,004 subscribers right now. Wow, guys, y'all did it. You did it tonight. That is awesome. Wow. All right, you know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna share that. I'm gonna get out of this screen. I'm gonna minimize that. We're gonna, what is that? Minimize that. Yeah, oh, that's where the chat room's at and Edge. Bring up this. Yeah, guys, we did. We made 60,000 tonight. 60,000 subs. Bring on page. It should show my main page. I sit on my back page. La-di-da-di-da-di-da, your channel. Wow. 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 All right. Here we go. Let's do a screen share. I gotta get back to my page. My table. I wore my table out. My optical mouse isn't working anymore. It's giving me more trouble. I wore my table out with this mouse. All right, let's do a screen share. Bing, bada, bang. This is the front page of my website on my YouTube channel. 60,000. Here, guys. 60K. 60K. But now it's 60,010. Y'all are awesome. This is a great night. It's a celebration. Celebration. All right, guys, 60,000 subs. This is awesome. Now look here, I'm bringing you stuff like China's balloons, AI, surviving EMPs, Russia war, Iran war, how to survive a nuclear war. And that's Stacy Savicki right there. She's in the chat room. Hi, Stacy. And I show you worms. The most important thing to know. 5 key things to raising worms. What is there more to know than this? We get rockets. This is where it's at, guys. This is the real where it's at. 5 key things to raise worms. And it shows this video has got over 496,000 views. This is almost 500,000 views on that video. But what you really need to know also is how to filter and sanitize water. How come it's only got 11,000 views? That is as big as this. Should be. Or wild winter foraging. Do you want to know how to forage in the forest when it's wintertime? How come I only got 4,000 views? Come on, guys. Why most preppers will die. Now, people wanted to know that. I got 108,000 views on that topic. But why is this one only 4,000? Why is that one only 11,000? This is only 4. Yeah, there need to be more views on some of those videos. You need to know how to grow your own food. I got aquaponics videos. I got gardening videos. And I got a few fun videos. And see what I put in my channel? I put gardeners. This guy was a microgreens channel. He had like 5,000 views. I think his channel grew on the coattails of my channel, probably somewhat, but he does a good job. I got this guy here. He's got growyourgreens.com. That's Curtis right there. I've interviewed him on the channel. This is Rob Bob's Aquaponics. He's in Australia. This is Diamond Oppenheimer Ranch. And if you click over, yeah, Rex will be in here somewhere. There's Rex. There's a Space Tall Zero. A friend of mine runs that. Justin Rhodes. This guy has got a video in here that tells you how to feed chickens from just compost piles. You don't have to buy no stinking Purina feed. So that's pretty good stuff. Yeah, he's got 1 million subscribers too. Dago Footer has got a lot of stuff about growing gardens. I got these short videos down here, and yeah, I'm rapping in a couple of them. Hey, me? Yeah, exactly. Talking about CBDCs here. Don't do digital dollars. Again, what is that? Don't do digital dollars. That's me using alliteration. Anyway, so I talk a broad range of topics. I can cover a lot of stuff. So that's why I hope y'all like coming here, because I can talk about just about anything. I run the halls of Congress. Holy smoke, I didn't want to go there. What is on YouTube? Oh my gosh, crazy stuff. Oh, we can talk that stuff some more. Gotta be careful talking on this platform though. Alrighty, guys. So let me stop the share on that. 60,000 subs. Man, y'all are great. I love y'all. It's a great night here in the channel. It's a great night. 60,000. 60,012. A couple more of you just subbed. That is awesome. You guys are it. Y'all are so good. Y'all are special. All right, let me go back now and find our chat room so I can see what y'all are saying. 60,000. Here we are, 2 in the morning, 345 are you watching? Stacy says, my favorite Greg's videos are the Dr. Pry. May rest in peace. Yeah, that's just it. We've got some good people in here. We've got Dr. Peter Vincent Pry. We got Ambassador Hank Cooper in here. His wife got sick and it really kind of devastated him. I hadn't bothered him since, but I wouldn't mind getting him on again. But if I don't, he'll pass away. Justin Rhodes is awesome. I love Justin Rhodes. He got disabled basically, unfortunately. But he toured the country in a bus, going around all these different farms to show you different things that different people were doing. I got a bus. Maybe one day I'll do that. Maybe one day. Kiwi MacArthur, congratulations on hitting that mark. Well, thank you. I started watching about the time I started worms, the 5 key things. Yeah, Brian, thank you. Brian came for the worms. That's been a top video. My top video. First video of yours I watched was how to filter water. Very good. Very good. That is a very vital video. Everybody should watch that video. Everybody should go on my playlist and find that video and watch it. That's one of the most important prepping videos you'll ever watch, because water is something you're not going to survive without for 3 days. And I show you many methods for purifying and sanitizing. That's 2 different things. Water. Like that plastic bottle. That was sanitation, killing the bacteria. Remember I said you take one, throw it in your back, but you want to purify it first and get all the stuff out of it. You know, all the contaminants that you can see that would inhibit light from flowing through it. They may not kill you, but you certainly don't want to drink a lot of mud and muddy water or whatever other impurities are floating around in it. You want to get that out. And so that is the purified. But then you want to sanitize it. You want to kill the bad stuff. You might boil it, or you might let the ultraviolet do the work for you. So that all works hand in hand. That's what I'm talking about, guys. That is what I'm talking about. So yeah, you really need to watch those videos. After midnight in California, yeah, it is. Proudly promoting global warming. Hey, that's me. Thank you, New Days. Pop all the beagles. Woohoo! Blessed and warm weekend to my fellow beaverines. Beaverines. Hands of bloom. Hey, there we go. Molly, I was hollering earlier today. No, he ain't an actual rocket scientist. Yeah, I am. Yes, matter of fact, I am a rocket scientist. So you have the wisdom experience of that few. Oh, you have wisdom and experience. Few have, Greg. Congratulations. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate that. Congrats. Max Smith, it's an arsenal. So nukes are weapons. Yeah, a lot of congratulations here. Appreciate that. I'm not seeing reports collaborating claims of multiple blooms this time. I haven't seen the collaboration on it either. I'm just hearing people claiming it. It may be out there. We'll know. We'll know soon enough. Dark Alley. Oh, we got a lot of good congratulations here. So many great engineers in the last 30, 40 years. Yeah. I have a Pete Conrad ring. Oh, come in a box of cereal. Hey, you need to save that. That's going to be a heck of a memento. Pete Conrad ring. That is great. That is great. I love it. Awesome. Awesome. Oops, I'll scroll the screen too far. Once thought in saw jars, hornet farms. I have a family that are engineers, IT, etc., marine microbiology. So you're a microbiologist, okay? Also did safety and emergency evac ops from platforms. Yeah. So yes, the Indy space, I am. I got the rocket motor here to prove it. I'm using it as a laptop table. Oh yeah, Tim Pickens would like, he build coffee tables and use a big rocket motor nozzle to hold the glass table up. This was our Hark cat's prize solid fuel grain. The oxidizer was separate. This is hydroxyl terminated polybutylene. It's the same kind of fuel used in military. I still smell it. In military solid rocket motors, but they would add ammonium peroxide. They would have ammonium perchlorate. Ammonium perchlorate. They add ammonium perchlorate to it as the oxidizer. Ammonium perchlorate is a bad contaminant that gets out in the environment, but they use that ammonium perchlorate as the oxidizer. We used nitrous oxide. Now, I came up with the idea to launch a rocket from a balloon. Tim was the guy that came to me and says, Greg, make it a hybrid rocket. convinced me to develop our own rockets and use hybrid rockets. And that was a great decision because it really helped our group a lot. I had some of our engineers that say, "Oh no, you don't want. If you get in rocket motor development, you won't do anything but develop rocket motors. You'll never fly anything." I said, "No, I will." We did. We did have a lot of flights, or attempted flights in many cases. Sometimes that flight was a rocket coming after us. Yes, I have ran from rockets. Sure enough, I have run from rockets. So we can tell some of these stories one day. Filter and sanitize water using natural materials and manufactured filters and solar sanitation. That's right. There you go. Thank you, New Days. Many methods. I've seen videos where somebody would show one of those methods and get 1 million views. I only got 7,000. So really, this is, I cover a lot of ground here. And I talk about the drawbacks of the life straws and the ceramic filters. And I might even add to that one day. I might have to expand on that. Molly, that was pretty good. I got all the way through it without cussing. Oh, would you be cussing that? You said you was yelling. So he and a rocket scientist. 16-year-old grandson has an affection for sharks. It's just 2-year-old. Wow. Marine biologist there. Sure enough. He's ammonium perchlorate and aluminum powder. Yeah, that's in the shuttle SRBs. Now, the shuttle uses P-band. It don't use hydroxyl terminated polybutadiene. It uses a different type of synthetic rubber called P-band. Craziest stuff we ever tried to light on our test stands back in our Halo days was called Han. Han is like water. Imagine lighting a fuel that's like water. That mess was hard to light. Somebody was talking about Han as a fuel in a video I watched recently on YouTube. I laughed myself silly. It's like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. Carol Reed, Max Smith. I did HIV and the Human Genome Project, abalone recruitment studies, and bioassays. There you go. So yeah, we were talking earlier about this idea that technology would spread. This is one reason to be preppers. This is one reason we need to form cells and communities of our own. This is one reason we need to join the survival tribe network. This is why eventually we need to develop these habitats. My universal habitat can be hermetically sealed. Yeah, it could be in your own little space colony on Earth. So you don't have to go to space to be in space. Be your own space. Yeah, you need to watch my universal habitat videos, guys. It's a home you can live in, make a living out of, and grow all of your food in. And Jason and I talked about that on a couple of different videos, growing your food. He had been scaling it to 1/12 of an acre because that's the size of a city block. Well, I used the example of the DeVase family from Pasadena, California, to scale it to 1/10 of an acre. But you know, you got a little more margin when you got 1/12 of an acre, and that is your typical city block. So you can definitely do that. But Jason had worked it out in terms of squares and what you grow in each square in terms of the normal kind of foods that you'd want to eat, and how to also grow that and turn that into a food forest with nut trees over time to supplant your growing with stuff that just keeps producing on and on and on. So a food forest. Balloon Boy will be a reality. Hey, Slee. Well, there's been quite a few people that have strapped themselves to lawn chairs with balloons and tuck off. Quite a few people have tried that now. Of course, there's several of them just like balloon backpacks. You get too high, you start popping a few balloons and you're going to come down. So yeah, got my entire class in school to build rockets for a school project. Yeah, there you go. That's a good project. AP is an endocrine distributor, so it requires special precautions. Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of the waterways in the west, I think the Colorado River is contaminated. But there is some of that in the groundwater on part of the Redstone Arsenal, because Thiokol had a solid rocket plant there at one time. So, Greg, what kind of radio system would you recommend starting out with, thinking ham or CB? Well, if you don't want to go through the license process, get a CB. A ham is really better in long term for a prepper, though. Yeah, let's see. Congratulations, Greg. Got to go to bed. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Use a nug, take out the balloons to land. There you go. Well, one guy just had a BB gun. And I don't know if he should have tested to make sure those BBs were going to pop those balloons before he went there, though, right? They had a guy got out over the San Francisco Bay, and helicopters were buzzing. I think he was causing some issues with air traffic. You're supposed to file, various notices to fly. You're supposed to have transponders and stuff. So yeah, you got to be a mod to put a link in. So what was Hardneck want to do? Anyway, I think she's just saying goodnight to somebody. All right, let's see. Yeah, I've gotten some email from Wendy. She's in fact, Wendy's got her own website, or excuse me, her own YouTube channel. If I recall correctly, I think I subscribed to it. Whoop, it moved. Move again. Down. You guys ought to check it out. If y'all have not subscribed to Jason's channel, do it. Do it now. He's got a lot of good lessons in there. He is one smart cookie. When a rocket scientist tells you somebody's smart, take it to the bank. Jason's smart. He is good. All right, so let's see. Go to channel. Wendy, if I recall right, she's got a nice greenhouse or something going on there. Hardneck Farms. She's got 1,140 subscribers. Yeah. Check her out, guys. All you got to do is click the 3 dots. It'll take you to her channel and subscribe. And I am subscribed to her channel. So y'all do that. I just did it from here. So y'all do that. Give her a subscription. Definitely subscribe to subscribe to Jason's channel. And check out my other channels too while you're at it. So we're going to go here in a minute. We've kind of beat this thing pretty good. We've talked about why I'm not worried about biodispersants from these balloons. Not worried about that at all. If somebody wanted to do a biological attack, honestly, just put something in the subways and vent out, or someplace where a lot of people go in a water system, or they get some people infected and send them into these cities. That's the easiest way to do it. Get somebody infected and put them in a city. Yeah, or just maybe, and some of these people, like suicide bombers, they infect themselves and go. And they would travel before it became, you get an infection. It usually takes a few days for that infection to show, to manifest. So you get yourself sick, you get on a plane and get over where you're going, and then you walk around the city streets. There's all kinds of nasty things people can do. I built artificial reefs for offshore for species counts. Oh, that is interesting, Carol. That is cool. That is really cool. Hey, we got another super chat. All right. Let's see, how can I pronounce this? Kotuku Wakapico. Is that New Zealand? Yeah, it is New Zealand, New Zealand 5. Yeah, that's like the local New Zealand kind of name, the Aboriginals of New Zealand, which were different than the Aboriginals of Australia. That is awesome. That is awesome. Now, there was somebody from New Zealand used to send me some artwork and some little video. Suggest I put it on this channel, and I need to do that. All right, they put it. Yeah, Patrick, you never know what they might put in, stuff like that, and then tell you got to have it. So one of the reasons I started the Freedom Restoration Foundation, folks. Y'all need to check it out. Greg, it's been a nice few years. Bye. What do you mean it's been a nice few years? You're not leaving me, are you, Tim? I get it, Greg. All right, Tim, what's up? You're not leaving us for good, are you? Just calling it a night? In the past few years. Yeah, Tim's been a regular in here for a long time. 30.06. All right, we got New Zealand. Okay. All right, so guys, let's do this. Let's do a quick super chat. Yeah, that's a good super chat. We got several super chats. We got New Zealand in the house, Australia. If not for geographic oscillation, I could not keep the strain of native heirloom corn uncontaminated. Okay. XNYC Prepper. Good night, Greg. Farms I'm into preserving heirlooms. There you go. That's very good. Do that. All right. Real quick, I'm going to, let's see. I'm probably going to show some other channels in here. just to look at. The share screen. Bada bing, bada bang. Yeah, y'all can also help me and help yourself by buying worms from greengregs.com, or if you want long-term survival food and prepping supplies, there's other prepping supplies there. It's not just the buckets of food I show all the time. That's where the specials usually are. But there's other prepping supplies. If you go to prepwithgreg.com, go to prepwithgreg.com for that stuff. And I'm going to, where's that's not going? All right. There we are. I'm going to shrink this down. Bada bang. Get below the zoom controls where I can do something with it. There we go. 60,000, guys. Yeah, here's the Green Gregs. Come in here, click buy worms up here. Click it here, it takes you to the page where you buy the worms. Survival Tribe Network. I was talking about this earlier, encouraging y'all to join that. I assume New Days is posting a lot of this stuff. She just posted for Freedom Restoration. WWIII's not in the house, I don't believe. This is my Product Papa's channel. This is a small channel, but I will be doing product reviews on this channel from time to time. I got some videos I hadn't even posted, but I may Sunday go to the flea market. If I do any more flea market videos, I'm going to do them on this channel. A lot of you guys have requested that. It kind of hurts the algorithms on my Green Greg's channel, but it would help me build audience over here in view time, so I'm going to do them over here. This is a channel I got for soothing sound videos. I got rain on my tin roof of my barn and frogs. I got other video stuff I will put together one day and upload to here. It takes a lot of time to upload a multi-hour video. A lot of time for that to upload. Anyway, this is my Rumble channel, Rumble Swivelhead News. I just put this video. I got all of one. How to get 3 likes and 1 view. I don't get that. 3 likes and 1 view. So some of these videos are the same, but I got videos on here I will not put on this channel. Like I go in more depth on some of this stuff here that I would not put on this channel. And some of these topics would be, this one. Some of these topics would get me banned on this platform, like especially these down. These are not, especially these two. Oh, no. Those I cannot do on YouTube. Not at all. Here's our winds. I was using that for looking at the balloon stuff. Jet stream. The balloon most of the time has been above this. If it had dropped down into it, it could have got carried more to the East Coast. I don't have all my websites open here today. But anyway, so there we are, guys. I'm going to stop the share. See what we're at right now. I'm going to go check our account. See where we're at the moment. $60,018 subscribers. Wow. Thank y'all, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Watch my videos. Share my videos. Some of my videos are timeless, like the ones we're talking gardening. We're talking nuclear survival, water, wild edibles, medicinals. Those should be timeless videos. The problem is I can put all these news videos up here and it gets hard to find the timeless videos. So you find them, share them. Share them on social media and other sites because it's information that people are going to need if the going gets tough. And you know what? Knowing wild edibles is nice anyway. It's nice just to be able to walk outside and pluck and eat a plant. It's nice, especially if you're camping out or hiking, to have that knowledge, to share it with your young ones. Maybe we'll be lucky and it won't hit the fan in our lifetimes. We'll teach your young ones so they'll be prepared. But unfortunately, we look like we're on the verge of the biggest storm the world's ever known. That's what it looks like to me. I hope I'm wrong. I hope and pray I'm wrong. Hey, Angela, congratulations, Greg. The future is in the dirt. Get your worms. There you go. From Greg and prep your gardens. Time to pop your seeds. There you go, Angela. Thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. I got many worm customers here in our chats. I appreciate that, guys. I really do. So, guys, we're going to go. It is almost 3 a.m. here. and I got to get up tomorrow and deliver some microgreens. So interesting heirloom seeds. Yeah. All right. Good, Rochelle. I've got True Leaf Market links in most of my videos. I don't always put links in my live videos. Most of them I don't. But the videos I upload, like the one I uploaded earlier today, will have links to, there's 2 different seed companies. The main one I've been using is True Leaf Market, but they both got heirloom seeds. And there's also, you can actually get seeds through prepwithgreg.com too. That's another avenue. Yet another super chat. There you go. Right, Arnold. Amen. That's helped me tonight. Helps a lot. You know, super chats make going live more palatable, because when you go live, you lose all the views you'd otherwise get ad revenue for. And I'll be honest, guys, I'm putting a lot of money out on the websites, and just, hey, there's another one. Thank you. $2. Got me benefit early. We're celebrating now. There you go. Thank you. Thank you, Kotuku. I appreciate that. Kotuku Wadapico. I know I'm saying it wrong. Forgive me, please. Or Coast, Oregon, I guess it's Oregon Coast, or Coast Green Man. Was Tim bent out of shape about something? I don't know. Anybody got any idea why he said that? He said like it's been great years or something like that. And it's almost like a goodbye, and I don't know what for. He didn't say. Yeah, he says, I get it, Greg. It's been a nice few years. Bye. Get it what? Do I going in the wrong direction for some of you guys? 4 corners. I've been wildcraft for most of my life. Started my 20s. I'm 64 now. That is awesome. Yeah, I was taught a lot of wildcraft when I was a kid. I'm 62. All right, Carol Reed, Alabama's beautiful. It is, Paul. Paul is here. Yeah, come check it out. We got a lot of plants. I hear a lot of gardeners say that plants will not grow at all in the wintertime. They'll just maintain. Oh, I can show you. I had my rye was killed in my aquaponic system by that freeze we had a few weeks. I re-sowed it, and I got rye this tall growing. I've got garlic growing. I grow stuff throughout the winter in my gardens in this area, and wild edibles will grow too. That's a good thing down here. All right, guys. Yeah, I hope I didn't say anything that Tim, yeah, Tim's been in our chat for a long time. Tim Satori, 3006. So I don't know what that was all about. Got no idea. Now, I know sometimes my mods have made some people unhappy, but I didn't see anything said, so I got no idea. No idea what happened there. All right, guys, we're going to call it a night. It's been, stick around, Tim. It's hard to get everyone, catch all the chat. There we go. Now, I don't catch all the chat going on between y'all. I can't keep up with that. The mods do that, but sometimes mods are kind of heavy-fisted. So I hope that wasn't a problem. So that's so cool. What do you think about grounding with copper? Some people said plants grow faster. I don't know. I may have to do some experiments on that one day. Some things you just got to play around with and experiment, see what it really is all about. Well, let's see. Well, Tim's not unsubscribed. We're still at, or if he did, somebody replaced him. Hope he didn't. 60,018. 60,018, guys. Maybe he don't like me talking about rockets. I don't know. Greg, answer a few for Greg. Hey, Totuku Wadapico. Thank you for another super chat. You're awesome. You're awesome. Greg, answer a few for Greg. Is there another Greg in the chat? Let me go back up. Oh, there it is. Sorry, Greg. I explained I had asked quite a few questions throughout. Oh, it's hard to catch all the questions coming through the chat, guys, because I'm talking, I'm sharing stuff. I think I do more than most YouTubers in terms of look. There's some YouTubers, if you don't put a super chat in, they don't even look at you. Let's see. All right, let me scroll back. Yeah, okay, now I'm seeing a couple people say you had a question. I'm scrolling back, hunting their questions. Sorry, Greg, for being rude. I had a few important questions to me. I asked, I will stay subscribed. Okay, now I see that comment. Yeah, guys, most of the comments I don't see just because the screen's rolling, scrolling, and I'm talking. So I can't just focus entirely on comments. Besides, so I'm trying to answer something, I'm talking to y'all. So I miss a good bulk of them, and that's why we have mods. Scroll back there, up. Oh, anybody feeling left out or ignored? All right, here we go. Oh, no, that's where you said that. I get a few years by. So let me scroll back up again. Scrolling. Scrolling. Now, I will tell y'all something. My computer network's slow. Sometimes the first time I see a comment, it's already been wiped out by a mod. I don't even know what the person said. Greg, you are indeed a real rocket scientist. I've actually researched you before. Okay, we got that one. Hey, you can look me up, guys. You can look me up. Look up the word rocket. Look up the word space. I'm on the internet. I don't think that's what you were asking. So let me scroll up some more. Right here. I've been subscribed for years, even called you once, but you were out of worms. Yeah, I've had that happen. There's times that, look, because the demand for worms is so huge that you can sell out in a hurry, smaller worm farms. I've been subscribed for years, even called you once, but you were out of worms. Yeah, sorry about that. I have worms now, but because of the freeze, I'm not sure how long I will have worms available. I can only sell them until we harvest about half what I got. Then I got to shut down so they can rebreed. Tim, let's see. Scrolling back up, looking for Tim. Harvey Post just turned 73. All right, Harvey. All right, good to find you. Tim. Lee changed his subscribe to 6 months, which kicked me out of his chat. He often does channels. He often has videos where you got to be subscribed for a while before you can chat in the chat room. I don't think that's rule applies to all of his chats. I think it's like some it does and some it don't. But Lee gets kind of some people kind of rub his nerves raw. Those are some of the questions they ask. So he limits what people can put in there. Worms is how I found you. Actually got some good news to boot, says David Van Canaan. Very good. So I'm scrolling back up to hunt other things from Tim. Now, if you call me, I'm going to warn y'all, if y'all call my phone number, there is no ringer on it. This is a brand new phone. I just bought it and the ringer don't work. Now, if it did work, I would often probably turn it off just because you don't want something ringing when you're on video or when I'm working. And I usually keep this on mute almost all the time, but I can't even turn it back on. So if you Anybody that calls me, leave a message. If you're not willing to leave a message, there ain't no bothered reason to call. Sometimes I'll pick up if I happen to look down and see the phone flashing at me, and if it's got a name on it, I might answer it. But 9 out of 10 calls that come in here, actually more than that, are sales calls. And they don't ever, you know, how sales call is, you know, that you pick it up and there's nobody online at first. They wait, you pick it up, then they have a sales representative pick up on their end. It's like, really? And I'm hanging up by then. By the time I hear their click, my phone's going back in the hang up. But the sad thing is, if you miss answer the phone and it hangs up on their end, it makes my answer machine go beep, 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 beep. That infuriates me. It's the last thing I need. All right, so let's see. Let's look for some more stuff here from Tim. Scrolling up. Oh, I can't scroll any further. Yeah, the problem with these chats is they don't show you everything during live chat, at least on my thing. So you may have some other stuff in here. Harbor, I can't stake any kind of way. Can't stake. I can't skate. Oh, I can't skate either. I grew up, well, there was no sidewalks. I grew up on Sand Mountain out on the farm. We didn't have any sidewalks, let alone skate. Oh, yeah, let alone skate. Yeah, I can't skate. The Ballin verified belongs to NASA. The Ballin verified. What is that? Biggest buyer. Oh, the company. Yeah. Helium. All right. Yeah, the helium company. So let me check these last few comments here. Do not go quietly into the night. There you go. I can't follow the chat if I'm not really trying to. Just listen. Yeah, it's hard. All right. So Tim says, yes, I understand. I had said, Halo, Greg, at the beginning. Okay. Well, Halo, Tim. Yeah, I try to say that to some people when I see them, but I know I missed some. Sorry about that. Yeah, Tim, you've been with me for a long time here. Appreciate it. Appreciate all you, every one of you. I've got some good regulars in here. In fact, I believe everybody's in here right now is a couple of newbies, but most of you guys are regulars. And Kotuku Watapico has gave super chats for also. All right, so we're going to call it a night here. It is almost 3 a.m. here. All right. As long as he repents, Liz. Repents, Liz. Liz? Who's Liz? Balloon. Yeah, all right. Okay. Alexandros, are you Greek? We have. Hey, everybody, before we go, we got people from all over the world. Tell us where you're from in the chat. Just enter city, state, country kind of thing. Tell me where you're from. I just like to say we got 312 people in here at 3 a.m. So y'all just, before we go, just let us know where you're from. I recently discovered that I cannot climb up and down the hills and scamper up trees like I used to. Yeah, I resemble that remark. Hey, you know, I showed you that video from Fort Greely. I scampered up Donnelly's Dome 4,000 feet from like lickety split. I looked behind me and all my other young soldiers in my unit they were way down the hill. I was up top way before they got there. I used to really be able to get out and do stuff. All right, we got Trenton, Florida, California, Carol Reed. We got Half Moon, New York, Charles. Sarah's in Wisconsin, Randall, Detroit, K-Town Cosmic Gypsies, Knoxville, Tennessee. Hey, that balloon might be close to you. Penny Stocks, Mojave Desert. I've been through there. Belgium. We got Belgium, Maryland, Washington State, Scotland. All right, Scotland. Got ancestors from there. The Ozarks, Portland, Oregon, Singapore. Rochelle's in Portland. Ace Lee's in Singapore. Texarkana, Texas, says Cindy. I've been through there. We love this community. Well, thank you there, Hardnack. Did the stranger phone call come from within the house? Oh, Denver. Yeah, Connie, I know where you're at. Colorado. Let's see, Jupiter, Florida. Somebody says stranger. From Stranger. Hartsville, Alabama. Yeah, Paul, you're a neighbor. You are a neighbor. Arkansas. Tule, Utah. 2L. How do you pronounce that? I haven't been to that. I've been to Utah quite a few times, but I don't know that community. Is it down in southern Utah, Wisconsin, Wilson, North Carolina, Tulsa, Oklahoma? I just subscribed. Something told me this man has wisdom. Well, thank you, Randall. Prescott, Arizona. That's very good. Prepper Nurse One does this. You should do it every stream. Oh, yeah, maybe I should. Yeah, maybe I should do it every stream. He does do that. You're right. He also has egg counts, but I don't have chickens yet. I may get some chickens real soon, though. I hope to meet you one day. Being so close. Have a good night, sir. That might just happen. Hey, listen, Paul. You know, we got our Freedom Restoration Foundation. We got a lot of local members to that, and some of them have asked me if we'd have a local meeting. So we might try to organize that. It might be a local swivel heads and Freedom Restoration Tribe type meeting, maybe even Survival Tribe. I might throw it all together. Maybe a local swivel head meeting. Jupiter, right on. Jupiter, Florida. That's right. Oklahoma, Arnett, very good. Well, you're up there close to Jason with the Green Country Agroforestry. You know, with your worm count, oh my God, we'd be here all night. How many millions of worms? Yeah. Hey, welcome new subs. Let me see what our count is right now. Got a lot of new subs here. We've passed over the 60,000 mark tonight. That was awesome. That's the celebration, guys. 60,025. Yay! All right. Very, very, very good. Yeah, also Prepper Nurse, he will hold out until he gets so many likes. But we got 405 likes. That's pretty cool. That may be the record for us from the balloon. All right there, Sean. Ace the gone after refresh. Let's see. Well, thank you, Robert. Thank y'all for being here. I met Jason at Green Country. You met him. Well, very good. Very good. Count worms by average weight of each soil. Well, come on. Well, I'll get chickens eventually. Maybe we'll find something else if y'all want to do a guest count like that. Would y'all like that? We did that. All right. All right, guys. Hey, I want to thank you super chatters. We had several in here super chatting tonight. Thank you. Thank you all. I appreciate that. I want to thank you mods. You've been busy. Thank you, Greg, for all your knowledge and wealth of content. Well, thank you. Oklahoma is a kind of a homestead, YT state. Yeah. Throw a rock and hit a farmer. Yeah, exactly. That's good. And support your local farmers, guys. I always tell you that. Support your local farmers. Support your local artisans. Spend your dollars local. That's the way to fight the system and to help your neighbors, your friends, your family. Yeah, you remember your grandparents' home phone. How about that? So, also, I like to close a lot of my videos. I close them out with this. It's, you know, as light dispels darkness, love dispels hate. Go out and shine your love light into the world. And be sure to hug those that you love. Tell them you love them. Because of the crazy world today, you don't know how long we got. And it's late. We need to go, but I do want everybody to pray for Granny Lana and her granddaughter and pray for New Days. New Days has got some procedures ahead of her. So pray for her. We hadn't seen Randy Bly in a few times here. I'm worried about Randy Bly, so maybe pray for him. And Colorado Jan was disappeared for a while. She came back recently, I think, but it wouldn't hurt to give her a prayer. So just remember that. We'll pray for New Days. Got 400, and I'm saying 14. Now that's I don't know if I ever got more. We need to start tracking record numbers on our thumbs up. See what's the top number. I got chickens to add to our farm, maybe for CSA. There you go, Harnett. Yeah, I got somebody that's offered me some silkies. I just got to get a place to put them. What's up, Balloonitic? That may be Tim right there. Hey, Sarah, thank you. Yeah, we got some ballooniticking going on here. Balloonitics, flying balloons. Yeah, Bill Brown's our chief balloonitic here locally. Sarah, thank you. She says keep it up. Green Country says, Harnett Farms, I would think that fresh eggs would be welcome in a CSA box. They ought to be. Eggs are like gold now. They're like gold. Holy smoke, guys. All right. Thank you, everyone. I want to thank everybody. Like I said, I want to thank you, Super Chatters. I want to thank you, Mod. You've been busy. All you people that sub tonight, you brought my channel over 60,000 tonight in this broadcast. That happened now. Y'all did it. I'm just dumbfounded how to sell CSA boxes in the first place. Yeah, you know what? I've been trying to work that out myself. And that's a bit of a pickle for me to try to wrap myself around. Maybe got too many things going on. Anyway, Buff. Yeah, you talking about chickens or sweeties, great layers too. Buff, how do you say that? Pringtons, I don't know how you say that. Near McLean, Texas. Okay, right on the river. Harnett, yeah, we have milkweed growing in my greenhouse. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. You are an herbalist. And I want to thank everybody who come here tonight. I want to thank everybody who's watched my video, who watches my videos. I just ask that you share them, give as many thumbs up as you can to help my algorithms. Go into the video and make comments and comment to other people's comments and like some of those. The more we are a community, the more y'all we chat with each other, it really reinforces the algorithms and they promote it more. Probably see you next time. Have a good night, sir. Good night to you. And yeah, Carol, I'm gonna have to hear it pronounced. It. I've seen it. Prayers for Granny. Granddaughter Kaylee, yep, there you go, Rochelle. Make sure in New Days, there you go. All right, so with that, I'm gonna say, everybody, it's been a wonderful night. Y'all made my night. Y'all cheer me up. Y'all cheer me up, especially nights like this with such good conversation. We are family. Don't ever forget, we are family here. We are family. So thank you for watching. Thank you very much. And with that, I'm gonna say,